Hi, everyone. Right now, I've got Dr. Justin Koren with me in another fantastic discussion. Now, Dr. Koren has served as the Miami-Dade County Public School District for about 15 years. He's been both a teacher and school administrator. He was also, following the horrific tragedy at Southwood Middle School in 2004, Dr. Koren moved back to Miami from New York City to write and produce Defining Code Red, which is a stage play that explores the devastating enduring effects of school violence. Currently, Dr. Koren is the assistant principal at Miami Killian Senior High School. Dr. Koren, how are you today?
Thank you. Thank you. I'm doing well. I appreciate you having me today.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here. I know you have a lot that you can give to the viewers. You have done a lot, and you're currently seeing a lot with, of course, being the assistant principal at Miami Killian Senior High. Now, with the high school closed at this time, what does that mean for you personally, and then, of course, the teachers and the students?
Absolutely. Well, listen, we're in definitely uncharted waters, so to speak, right now. This virus is impacting everybody differently. I will say, as an administrator, we're still working. Like our teachers are working remotely. We do that in part, but all of our high schools here in Miami-Dade County are giving food to our students, who are providing food, grab and go meals for families Monday through Friday. And so between that and also trying to ensure that all of our students have the necessary technology to continue to get their education virtually through our online, a process that we're putting in place. That takes legwork, and that takes, unfortunately, there is a level of contact that we as administrators still need to have. So we're taking necessary precautions, but it's uncharted waters. There's a need. We know that we're essential personnel right now, so we're rising to the occasion. But it's scary for us, and it's scary for our families. I think it's important to recognize, across the board, everybody is human. So although these essential personnel, doctors, nurses, those run the grocery stores, those running the schools, we all have families to go home to. So it's scary, but we rise to the occasion.
Absolutely. The teachers, of course, are what we need right now. So they're absolutely essential personnel, because they're still educating and trying to do it on Zoom calls and Skype and keeping all of our students educated. So the long term, because of course, right now you're trying to just finish out this school year. What's going to happen if this takes, let's say, unfortunately, this takes a couple of years? What's in place for that?
I think we're doing two things right now. We're doing the immediate, and then we're also at the same time trying to figure out what works, what can be modified, what can be changed and improved upon going forward. We've never done this at this level before. We've had virtual education in existence for quite some time, but what we've basically done, and we've done it quite seamlessly, is in the blink of an eye, transition entirely as a school district to completely trying our best to provide a continuity of services and education. But a lot of our teachers, they're old school, and a lot of our parents and our families, they don't have working internet in their homes. So there has been a lot of, I won't say hiccups, but things that we need to work through. And so as a district, I know that definitely as an administrator, we are taking precautions, and we're trying to be as sympathetic as we can, recognizing that this is not something that everybody was ready to dive into. So we are being very willing and able to differentiate how we do the best job we can at making sure that we're continuing to educate each and every child. And I can't say that we have an answer for what we're going to do in the fall or even 2 years down the line. I think right now we're trying our darn best to be that continuity for these students. Remember, a lot of these students, not only do they come every single day for an education, but for many of our students, that hot meal, that breakfast, that lunch, that was the only time that they could bank for sure on getting a decent meal, in addition to just an education. But we're providing services that go well beyond just the scope of, traditional, what we would think of as, just studying and taking our tests and doing that. We have health components, mental health components, all of which we're trying very eagerly as a school district to continue to ensure those services are there.
Absolutely. That's very good information. So I unfortunately, we're not sure when this is going to end. And I do understand that there are some hiccups, as does everyone. That's the very good news. And a lot of good stuff will probably come from this, in the sense that a lot of different things are going to, maybe more online classes and stuff like that, distance learning maybe for different things. I do want to mention that in Miami-Dade, currently confirmed cases are up to about 4,100. Broward County has 1,800. And of course, daily those numbers are growing. Do you know of students or faculty affected directly by the coronavirus? Do you know of any families going specifically through that right now?
On a personal level, I do know, I can't comment specifically about the schools, but I know that we have, obviously, this is a growing pandemic and it's hitting home for a lot of people. We obviously do have members of our community, members of our school community. I mean, it's no secret that we have those that are facing, this is a very real struggle. But I just have to say, it's bringing out the good in people. We hear a lot of negativity. I think it's impossible to turn on the news right now and hear anything but, a rush of negativity. But I have to say, this has been, our teachers have risen to the occasion. And I can't reiterate this enough. When you look on, I know we're doing our program right now through Zoom, but imagine we have teachers right now with 40 students in a Zoom call, and they're every single day logging in and they are interacting. There's that sense of continuity, of being familiar with one another and knowing that that line of communication is open. Many of our students, their parents have to continue to go to work because they too are essential personnel. So this is very real. This has very real feelings attached to it for our students and also for our faculty. And I think it's important to know that the district, has tools in place. We have a command center that's in place to field those calls of uncertainty and those questions to make sure that we give accurate responses. This is moving quickly, and it's also something, like you said, we don't know how long we're going to be moving in these uncharted waters. But as we are confronted with different questions, we're finding those answers. And I think that's something that we have to remember. We have to continue to be sensitive through these difficult times and know that we're all going through it together, just very differently. But at the end of the day, this is something I would be very surprised at the end of this, that I think everybody is going to be impacted by someone they know in some way, shape, or form, including those that are employed by the school district.
Mm-hmm. That's absolutely true. On a personal note, what are you and your family doing? How are things on your end? What precautions have you guys been taking at home? And of course, what's going on with your personal life with the coronavirus?
Right. Well, listen, it's tough. It is really tough. I personally, up until this point, have been the person caring for my 95-year-old grandmother.
Wow.
So being an essential person now, having to go in every day to the school and distribute lunches and meals and having interaction, we've had to change the way that we're doing things in my family. Just because we're yielding the advice of the CDC. 6 feet for our most vulnerable, I don't think that's for me necessarily good enough. So it's been tough going from a very close relationship, physical relationship, seeing members of my family every day, and now having to resort to other means of communication. And we just have to continue to know there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And I think that it's been creative, but I think it's better to have, at least for me personally, to put up those necessary precautions and know that we're safe at the end than to take unnecessary risks. I just think, I don't think any of us can be too safe right now. We need to.
That's very true. Yeah, you just brought a very good point up also. You've got a 95-year-old grandmother that you really can't bring the coronavirus to. So the serious precautions. As far as the school goes, by the way, what's going on with phone calls? I'm assuming a lot of parents have a lot of questions probably. Who's handling that? And where do people find information?
Well, our websites are all up and running, and if you go to dadeschools.net, the school district has a great command center they've established. You can be routed to all those various phone numbers and folks who are standing by to assist. The schools themselves, my understanding is that all of the principals and administrators are readily accessible by email. So I would encourage everybody to either go onto the school district's website, or you can go onto the individual school websites, and from there you'll get direct email addresses for all of the principals and support staff, and we are monitoring constantly. We're here for you. We're here for our students. We're here for the parents. But it is so important that that we not give up, that students log in at least daily to their online portals. That's how we're doing it in Dade County right now. And I believe that our sister counties are very similar in that we want our students to log in, to make contact. The flexibility for us in Dade County is definitely there. So even though teachers have what we call online office hours right now, virtual office hours, it doesn't mean that students are mandated to do their work during that set period of time. We want students to be able to work at their leisure. Everybody's situation right now is very different. A lot of our older students who are in high school are caring for younger siblings. They may be the ones physically driving to the schools to pick up meals for those younger siblings. So we're cognizant of that fact. The idea is that the communication is open. And I think it's just important to remember, school is, it's important to get your education, but our students are undoubtedly in their families being educated at such a different level. And these are life skills that I think we'll all look back at, no matter where we are in our lives, at what point in our lives, we'll look back and we'll realize that we rose to the occasion, and that we're all hopefully going to learn a great deal about what it is to be resilient and to be there for one another, and to not lose the heart in the game.
Those are great words, honestly, very, very nice words, and so true. As far as right now, of course, you're talking about dateschools.net is where everybody is supposed to, if they need to find something out, that's where they should go. Is that right? Is there, and now their portal, they should know where their personal portal is. Is that right?
Correct. It depends what kind of question you're having. I mean, the district has a centralized command center with phone numbers that are out all over social media. So definitely to follow Miami-Dade County Public Schools. But I would also say that it's just critical to know that the folks that they are familiar with, their principals, their assistant principals, their teachers, we're only an email away. I know for me personally, I'm checking my email constantly, and I'm calling families constantly to check in, even if it's not necessarily school related. We've had relationships, and we're used to seeing our students where we're all uncertain about what the future brings in terms of how we're going to graduate our class of 2020. I would say that's the most common question that we're getting right now is,
that was my next question.
I mean, and it's pretty certain, we've had folks and our students, they've been looking forward to graduation, but not only graduation, it's an experience. It's senior year, it's prom, and it's grad bash. And unfortunately, this is something that's out of all of our hands right now. Safety has to be the top priority. So I think a lot of these questions will be answered in time. But I think a lot of this is coming from the emotional side of things. And so our counselors are also employed. And so students who are struggling through trying to figure out, this influx of emotion and uncertainty, it's good to know that we have our school staff is available also to communicate, whether by email or by a phone call. I have to say that at the school that I'm at, everybody has just risen to that occasion, and we're working at all hours of the day to make sure that our students know that they are supported.
At a time when a lot of people are not physically at work, I think there's more work happening with what everyone is doing, honestly. I know all the teachers are really busting their rump, trying to do so much for the students, getting up, like you said, there's still a schedule, and they're still getting on Zoom, Skype, however they're doing it, and they're educating our future. So it's really incredible what has been going on, and I can't thank the teachers and the staff. Of course, you yourself as the assistant principal, I can't thank you enough. And of course, those graduation ceremonies, those can wait. Everyone's going to celebrate later on when everyone can finally shake hands again. That's when they'll be able to party and everything. Well, thank you. Would you like to add anything else, Dr. Koren?
I mean, listen, I would just say, you know, for everybody not to lose hope right now, especially in our school district, and what this is going to teach us a lot. The learning is not only for the students right now. The learning is being done by all of us, and we're not making it up as we go so much as we're learning as we go, and we're perfecting our policies as we go, and the way that we're able to do the best job that we humanly can. You know, and to know that we're here to support everybody, and we're a huge part. The school district is a huge part of our community, and just to know that we'll be here when we'll be here now as we're going through it, and we'll be here even stronger when this is all behind us, and we'll undoubtedly be able to have graduations, I'm sure, in some form, and I'm sure that that everybody who's putting that hard work in, they will come out for the better. So I just can't, that's my one hope, that for all of our students, even those who don't necessarily report virtually every day to the school that I work at, keep showing up, keep putting that time in, because it will pay off. The work will pay off, and we will move forward, and we will get past this.
Absolutely true. Honestly, truer words were never spoken. So thank you very much, Dr. Koren. I do want to mention, you had wanted me to mention your website, and that is www.justinkoren.com. And on social media, you are at Dr. Justin Koren. I'm going to post all of that information along with any links that we mentioned on my sites. Absolutely. And I'm at ericadelsordo.com. There you can find my YouTube channel and the rest of my social media platforms on ericadelsordo.com. Dr. Koren, thank you again very much. Fantastic information. I can't thank you enough.
Thank you for having me. Be safe.
Absolutely. You too. Thank you very much.